Hello and welcome to Homoeomirror, an exclusive platform designed to promote classical homeopathy. Myself, Dr. Shilpi Rai, and I will be your main host for this demo session tonight. When homeopathy was discovered over 200 years ago, our master had a dream, and that was to serve the humanity. The laws, theories, and principles of homeopathy were not discovered overnight, but it took years and years of dedication, hard work, and research. But unfortunately, today the way majority of us are practicing, we have far left behind the very purpose for which homeopathy was once discovered. This is a sincere attempt from our end to try and excavate those buried principles by explaining the concepts of practicing classical homeopathy in a very simple, interactive and effective way with the help of 3D animations, audio recording and multimedia clips. Today, in this demo session, we are going to give you all a glimpse of what is stored for you in future if you decide to join our platform. So without wasting time, let's get started. To start with, let's try to understand some of the basic concepts of organon and philosophy.
Our body is made up of two planes. The outmost plane is called as the materialistic plane, and the innermost the dynamic plane. The materialistic plane is composed of all the cells, tissues, organs, blood vessels, and nerves, while the dynamic plane is composed of the central controlling unit known as the vital force. Then we have our will and emotions, and then our intellect and understanding. It has to be kept in mind that both these materialistic and dynamic planes are interconnected with each other and cannot exist in isolation. This means that if the vitality gets exhausted, then at the same moment, the materialistic plane also gets exhausted, and the person dies. This can be seen when a person dies a natural death as a part of aging. Similarly, if there is an irreparable damage done to the materialistic plane or any of its vital organs beyond a limit from where it cannot recover, then the vitality also gets exhausted. This can be seen when people meet with deadly accidents. We all know that one of the most important functions of skin is protection. It protects the materialistic plane from any external stimuli that can cause damage or destruction. Similarly, the dynamic plane is also protected by a covering known as dynamic protective covering, which protects the dynamic plane from any external negative dynamic influence. We have read from the organon that when the vital force gets deranged, we call the person to be sick. We have also read that vital force is deranged by external negative dynamic influence. When the strength of dynamic protective covering is strong, it will not allow the external negative dynamic influence to act upon the vital force. We have to keep in mind that the strength of the dynamic protective covering does not remain constant. There are a few factors, which we shall discuss in detail later, which alter the strength of the dynamic protective covering. Also, when the vital force is in order, if any pathogen enters the body, which can cause damage or destruction, then the vitality will ensure that the pathogen is either killed or removed from the body before it could cause any damage or destruction. We have discussed earlier that vital force is deranged by external negative dynamic influence. This means that dynamic influence is of two types: positive dynamic influence, which boosts the strength of the dynamic protective covering and helps to cure, and negative dynamic influence, which brings down the strength of the dynamic protective covering and contributes to make a person sick. Let's try to explore some sources from when positive dynamic influence and negative dynamic influence can be acquired.
Doing yoga and meditation, going for a jogging, spending some good time with your loved ones, enjoying your work with a coffee, having some fun time with your roommate, enjoying your favorite music which brings on a smile on your face, unlocking some memorable events with your life partner, playing a video game, going out just for a casual walk, enjoying your favorite food, willful traveling, having some chit chat with your close friend, family celebrations, sparing some time with the elderly people in your house, going out with your family, financial stability or some extra cash in hand, exhilaration, feeding your kid, a lovely hug from your child, anxiety, fear, depression, disappointed love, dissatisfaction, anger, frustration, stress, weeping, arguments, etc.
When by any means the strength of the dynamic protective covering is lowered, the external negative dynamic influence will act upon the vitality and tends to cause its derangement, thereby making a person sick.
We hope we were able to convincingly make you understand some of the basic concepts of homeopathy. But this is just the beginning. In order to understand the whole phenomenon, a lot of other topics needs to be discussed in detail, including the role of susceptibility, predisposition and miasms, which we shall be covering as we go along in this journey. Now let's move on, as we had informed that we shall be coming up with interactive and interesting activities to understand the rubrics. So here in this demo session, let's show you a clip. You have to watch this clip and come up with a proper rubric for the same from the Ken's repertory. Send your answers through WhatsApp on the number shown on your screen.
Life always had unexpected surprises stored for me. When you expect something, some other thing will happen. Sometimes I feel I am so unlucky. Nothing goes right for me. Whatever I do, even if it is with good intention, it always ends up in a big mess. Sometimes I get a feeling that I'm not good for anything at all.
Under the name of modernization or under the name of clinical experience, today many of us are following those methodologies, which has already been severely condemned in our literature written years ago. This goes to show that those who do this has never read as to what is given in our literature, and to hide their own inefficiency, they demand to get our literature updated which they have never read at all. A bad workman always blames his tools. Let us show you some examples.
Today, it is quite common to come across doctors who tend to ask, "Which remedy are you giving in such and such cases?" We also come across people who list best remedies for this condition or that condition. The doctors who are experienced, they too come up with such listing, claiming that this remedy is good for that clinical condition and claim to have cured many cases. Let's see what is given in our philosophy regarding such people.
Every few days I run across a homeopathic physician who asks, "What remedy are you using in such and such case?" Such a thing has no place in my mind, and I look upon one who speaks in that way as a man untrained in homeopathics. I truly have lost my patient over such things, for the old greyheads, who have practiced for years and pretended to practice homeopathy, do not hesitate to say that the best remedy for epilepsy is so and so. What nonsense!
What a nonsense. And see, even today, majority of us are doing this nonsense practice. What a shame. Anyways, let's move on. There are another category of doctors who present cases for knowledge or teaching the juniors, wherein they tend to have made a prescription based on some common symptoms of the disease or maybe a keynote. Let's refer the literature and see what it is mentioned regarding such practices.
Many cases are presented with no generals and no mental symptoms, absolutely no characterizing symptoms, only the symptoms common to sickness. When a successful prescription is made on such symptoms, it is scarcely more than a lucky hit. It cannot be classed as scientific prescribing. Many records are presented with pages of vague description, and one keynote that has served as a disgraceful stool pigeon to call forth a failure from many doctors.
Now, let's talk about those doctors who come up for seeking remedy suggestions by just sharing some symptoms common to the disease. We also see that many doctors respond to such queries, listing their choice of remedy without any base or logic. We have to always keep in mind that in our profession, we are not playing with any machines, but with the health and life of our patients. Let's see what is mentioned in our literature regarding such practices.
Defective education is often revealed by professed homoeopathic physicians bringing cases for advice with only a few clinical symptoms, or a few particulars, or the results of disease, all mental symptoms, and generals being omitted. The physician who administers a remedy on such a one-sided case will have a high percentage of failures, but he often struts like a peacock over his lucky hits.
To make the situation worse, if someone intend to correct such people by pointing out to what has been mentioned in our literature, majority have got transformed into a kind of mindset where they are no more willing for self-correction and tends to criticize those who are quoting literature. Our literature has an answer to this as well.
We are all encumbered with tradition. Unbelief in new things is our strongest tendency. The tendency to ridicule what we do not understand is born in us.
Anyways, our intention is not to correct them, but we intend to guide the beginners and the inexperienced in the right direction. But again, as Dr. Kent has said, the inexperienced must be assisted and instructed in order to practice homeopathy, without resort to traditional medicine. But assistance can be of use only when desired and appreciated. Homoeomirror platform is for those who sincerely wish to learn and master this wonderful art of practicing classical homeopathy. We leave it to the students to decide in which path they wish to travel. After all, it's your future and you can decide. In this platform Homoeomirror, we are going to have live case discussions from Monday to Thursday. Apart from this, we will be having daily 3 rubric hunting activities. On daily basis, videos explaining the aphorisms from Organon will be shared, and also videos to understand the philosophy with simple and easy examples. You will get a chance to participate in interactive group discussions with other doctors. In short, we are inviting you all to a platform that shall be a true paradise for sincere learners. To join our platform, there will be a monthly subscription charge of 500 rupees. Please note that the subscription charges is not going to remain the same if at all we start our next batch in future, so don't miss the golden opportunity and enroll today. With that, we are concluding this demo session. Hope you all have enjoyed it and we are looking forward to have a great journey together, learning from our masters. Thank you for watching.